The power of love is the greatest of all. For when you are within the allness of God, it flows freely, carrying along all that is to be manifest by the nature of the mind of God, the wisdom of God. If you were to consider the great oceans and seas of the world, with all of their power and the constant motion, ebbing to and fro, you could not even begin to touch the power of God love that is present throughout all. This is important for you to recognize. For many of the sons and daughters of God think that love is only for the timid, the meek, and the mild, somehow too sweet to effect great change in life. But that would be a grave error on their part. For the greatest of all activities of God is when love goes forth and determines to carry out the divine intent of the God consciousness within each one of you is present. The seed ideas of your own God presence. They are constantly streaming forth for you to be able to appropriate and put into active and wise use for your life, so that you might build a life for yourself that is the making of one who has known the presence of God and called it forth to touch every part of their life. Many think one must find themselves a mountain top or the seclusion of a monastery to achieve such a pristine conscious awareness of the presence of God. For a time, this may be so. For the training that is required of the outer vehicles you wear, to be more receptive to the vibration of the mighty I Am presence and every minute detail than the ways of the world, in whatever manner the human consciousness has borne out. right within your own heart, is a citadel of light, where you may always repair to, regaining your inner courage to once more mount the achievements and victories that every day demands. What of those days when you seem to be alone and find that you do not have what you think you need to touch the hem of the garment of your own God presence? For indeed it does take the strength to allow for the flame upon the altar of your heart to be supported and to rise into that communion. What then, if you find it not possible, can you rely on? I wish to tell you a little secret, well kept, even in the mystery schools of old, that when you have touched the light and the consciousness of your God presence, you may always whisper the prayer, "Come to me, for I desire your love." And in that moment, you will find yourself filled beyond measure with a love that gives you renewed strength, vitality, and you are ready once more to approach your day. This may seem too simplistic for some. How then could it work? It is because, blessed hearts, you have already forged that communion. You have already practiced the disciplines of invoking the light of God and sending forth the love of your heart to the mighty I Am. When that communion has occurred time and time again, it is establishing pathways by which you can re-enter the stream of the consciousness and light of God, seemingly effortless. There are those that try for a time, leaving in place all of the human creation that they have afforded in their life to take dominion. And having tired of wrestling with that human creation, think that surely The disciplines to know God must not work. But have you released that human creation into the flame? Or have you somehow secretly held on to those patterns in your life? Surely, if this is the case, could you expect the change that you had been promised? The love of the heart contains within it the power to propel your life and every aspect and situation that you face into the grand design that your presence has held for you to fulfill. You have already heard this very day how the great divine director holds you in his consciousness to reinforce the fulfillment of your divine plan in this given lifetime. Your own God presence loves you beyond measure and is constantly rehearsing how to set in motion the plans, the dimensions and vibrations of life that will teach you and allow you to have the greatest experience within the fullness of the ray of God consciousness. When you have learned your lessons well and expanded the light of the threefold flame to fill your chalice, you are then invited by your presence to go beyond the bounds of your own surroundings and to expand your awareness into the allness of God, recognizing how your own heart flame merges effortlessly with that of the allness of God, reporting back to your conscious awareness the love that is at the core of every presence, desiring only God good, initiating cosmic order in all things, knowing that where there is the cosmic law outpictured, the presence of God abounds. This should be the law of your own being, Your day-to-day life should be the expression of all that is beautiful and holy. Putting outside of your life the crassness of the human creation that has no place, where the harmony and peace abide. The purity of every intent of your heart outweighs any misstep, misspoken word, any erg of energy that might pass from you in a negative form. For that pure intent, when trained within the mind of your own God presence, knows itself to be wholly God good, and ready to move out into manifestation and draw forth divine creation at the command. You, blessed hearts, are a son and daughter of God. The flame of love upon the altar of your heart gives you the right to call forth God love, call forth the rays of God consciousness, and speaking to the mighty I Am presence, the angelic kingdom, the ascended and cosmic beings. Your response is assured, for the alignment of your vehicles of consciousness have been prepared, trained, fashioned in the way of the Christ light. The love of your heart streams forth without any governance, for the unconditional love you would give to all of life. That love becomes your greatest protection. And in the quiet and the stillness of your devotions, you realize the presence of the essence of God love everywhere. It is infinite. You cannot find any line of demarcation. It goes on and on, carrying you like the ocean tides far out into the cosmos, bathing you in the warm glow of the comfort, knowing that all that you are and all that you ever hope to be, cannot begin to touch how great is that love. It is enough for you to have experienced it, moved within it, and recognized that your presence, the mighty I am of who you are, is a part of that allness of God. And your gratitude is overbounding. And you, blessed hearts, drink it in, not wishing to let go. In time, your own presence announces to you that the cycle has come for you to allow your consciousness to come back to the point of center of your individuality in God. And thus, the Christ consciousness. But your heart flame remembers where you have been. It holds that pattern of identity and memory in its expanded flame that now burns brighter than ever before. You have changed. You are no longer the same as you were. And you are ready to embrace all that your presence would have you fulfill. You know that the greater good that is held within the allness of God, you are a part of, and that your conscious awareness of the truth of your identity is born out of the individualization of God. I am. Embracing that I am will change the course of your life. It will draw you into a greater alignment and specificity of purpose. And your heart will be the lamp that lights your way. For it is now educated in the ways of God love. That nature of God love that all speak of, but few know. You will be able to witness to. It exists. It is here. It is within you. Let that God love move through you and carry you through your life. I, Nada, have drawn you into this meditation on God love so that you might accelerate your own momentum and recognition of who you are. Not unlike the rose, where each petal must open to release the perfumed essence of its divine inheritance. You are likewise releasing the essence of your own God presence as that God love that abounds. Hold fast as you move through each new awareness of the truth of your God identity, who you truly are, what you are, and how you are to be. Glorious wonders are yet for you to behold. Excitement and awe beyond measure. All that would limit you is your own sense of limitation. All that might hold you back would be your own lack of surrender. To know God love, you must surrender to that love. That is the divine romance. That is the nature of love. Let your heart be so filled with God love that you cannot hold it back, but must allow it to overflow your chalice and bless all whom you come in contact. I have called forth Chamuel and Charity to assist with their angels, to hold this vibration that is present in this hour within your own conscious awareness, so that you might have the completion of the initiations in love through the remainder of this cycle. Do not be too quick to throw over the traces of this vibration. But even in your coming and going, maintain at the core of your being this, the consciousness and the essence of God love. I commend you to the heart of God. I commend you to love.